Good evening and welcome to the City of Roswell Mayor and City Council meeting for December 11th, 2023. I am Mayor Kurt Wilson. I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues and council members present. Councilmember Sarah Beeson, Councilmember Christine Hall, Councilmember Lee Hills, Councilmember David Johnson, Councilmember William Morthland, and Councilmember Michael Palermo. I'll now turn our meeting over to our City Administrator, Mr. Randy Knighton, to explain how the meeting is run. Mr. Knighton.
Thank you, Mayor Wilson, and good evening, everyone. In accordance with Section Chapter 3.70 of the City Code, City Council shall hold regular public meetings. The purpose of City Council meetings are for the public to participate and speak on agenda items which constitute formal decisions by the elected body. These items are listed on the published agenda, which can be accessed via the city website prior to the meeting. This is a public meeting, and some items do require a formal public hearing. A significant and important component of city council meetings are to hear directly from residents on the items listed on the agenda. Public comments or questions are essential as mayor and council consider and incorporate those into each decision. Residents are at the top of the organizational chart for the City of Roswell. Therefore, it is imperative that mayor and council hear from residents in these meetings. If you would like to speak on an item, we ask that you fill out a comment card, which are located at the back of the room, in order to ensure an accurate record of the meeting. We ask, of course, that everyone exhibit the principles of mutual respect and display the appropriate demeanor during the meeting this evening, which should be and is reflective of this great community. The mayor is the presiding officer and will ensure the orderly exchange of comments, questions, and discussion leading to decision-making by the elected body. We do encourage those in attendance and the viewing audience to visit the city website for meetings, events, and departmental information. We also encourage everyone to review and participate in the various activities and offerings here in the city of Roswell, which can be accessed at roswell365.com. There are a number of events scheduled which are upcoming in our city. The mayor will discuss and speak about shortly, along with some other items and announcements which promote community, leisure, and physical activity as we all make Roswell the #1 family community in America. Mayor Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Knighton. Thank you, Mr. Knighton. At this time, I'd like to call Dory Griggs, the City of Roswell Fire Department chaplain, to the front for our moment of silence and invocation.
Good evening. Please join me. Holy One, we are grateful for another opportunity to gather here tonight. Be with the mayor and city council members as they discuss the important business of the city of Roswell and our residents. We give thanks for the service of U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Robert Jackson and all members of our armed forces. Please watch over our first responders in the police department, 911 communications, and the fire department. Keep them safe as they work to keep our community safe. As we leave this place tonight, grant each person here traveling mercies. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dory Griggs, as always, chaplain for the Roswell Fire Department. At this time, I'd like to call United States Air Force Staff Sergeant Robert Jackson to come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Jackson, I'm going to ask you to stay up there, and I'd like the council to come down for the first item under the mayor's report, which is the reading of a proclamation for the esteemed Veteran of Roswell Award to United States Air Force Staff Sergeant Robert Jackson.
Thank you for service. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
For being here. There you are up above, by the way, just to let you know. You look almost exactly the same.
60 years ago.
Proclamation, Office of the Mayor, Staff Sergeant Robert Jackson, esteemed veteran. Whereas it is fitting to honor and recognize the remarkable service and dedication of individuals who have selflessly served our nation. Whereas Robert Jackson enlisted in the United States Air Force at the young age of 18 after graduating from high school in 1961. Whereas Robert Jackson underwent rigorous training, spending 5 weeks in basic training in Texas and attending tech school in Denver, Colorado. Whereas Robert Jackson's service took him to Goose Bay, Labrador, Canada for 14 months before being stationed at a Dutch Air Force base in Holland for 2 years, less than 2 decades after the conclusion of World War II. Whereas Robert Jackson's military career continued with the Alabama Air National Guard, where he served diligently, achieving the rank of E5. And whereas Robert Jackson's commitment to education led him to pursue a college degree, utilizing the benefits of the GI Bill, which combined with his military experience, propelled him into a successful civilian career. And whereas Robert Jackson's illustrious civilian career included roles as a technical representative in the dental X-ray division of GE Medical Systems, and later as the Southeast Regional Manager covering a multi-state area. Whereas Robert Jackson continued his professional journey as a multiple product line manufacturer's representative in the electronics industry, retiring in 2001 after years of dedicated service. Now, therefore, I, Kurt M. Wilson, Mayor of the City of Roswell, do hereby name Staff Sergeant Robert Jackson, an esteemed veteran of Roswell, and call upon all our citizens to recognize his outstanding service to our country and our community, and that there is no higher calling than those who serve the United States Armed Forces. Congratulations. As I promised, you get the microphone.
What I did 60 years ago, I'm proud of. I spent 4 years in the Air Force. I did spend 4 years in the Air Force and another 4 years in the Air National Guard. I fully encourage other young people that are 18, 19 years old to go in the military if you're physically able. Grows you up. Nothing else. Very much.
Well said. Let's get some pictures.
Okay.
Come on. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
I spent a lot of time in this game myself.
Oh, did you really?
One day too long.
I don't have to go back.
Good for you.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you all.
Okay, we've got a busy night tonight. The next item on the mayor's report is a resolution to request appropriations from the City of Roswell local delegation to the Georgia General Assembly in the amount of $40 million for Big Creek Parkway. Does council have any questions or comments on the item that's being presented? Are there any Roswell residents that would like to address the item? This time I bring it back to council for any thoughts, additional thoughts, comments, or questions on this particular matter at hand? If they're not, I'll ask for a motion. Motion by Councilmember Johnson. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Hall. Thank you very much. All those in favor of the approval of a resolution to request appropriations from the City of Roswell local delegation to the Georgia General Assembly in the amount of $40 million for Big Creek Parkway, please raise your hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. The last item on the mayor's report is upcoming events and some other announcements, and I'm going to turn that over to Councilmember Hills. But before I do, this is the last regularly scheduled meeting of 2023, December the 11th. We will be having a special meeting next Monday, December 18th. I don't know if that's out there, Marley. Is that out yet? It's out? Okay, thank you, ma'am. So we'll be having a special called meeting next Monday. And so I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that next Monday, we will be having a reception in room 220 at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock for somebody named Mike Palermo. And then next week will be our bidding adieu to Mike Palermo, Councilmember Mike Palermo, and his 8 years of service to the city of Roswell. So please join us next Monday, December the 18th, room 220 at 6 o'clock. And there'll also be some parting comments here, I'm sure, from the fellow colleagues here on the dais. With that, Councilmember Hills, would you tell us about upcoming events?
Thank you, Mayor. I sure will. As always, I want to point your attention to our website, Roswell365.com, where you can find out anything and everything about what's going on in the city of Roswell. If you have a nonprofit organization, a religious organization, a neighborhood event that's open to the public, please go to that website and list your event there. It'll get you a lot more traction with our residents and those that are visiting our city. Couple of things I want to draw your attention to. Continuing, started on November 24th and continuing through December 24th, is the Authentic Christkindl Market in Roswell. That's at our historic Bullock Hall. It's presented by the Friends of Bullock Incorporated and Roswell Rotary Club at Bullock Hall on the grounds.
Hey, Lee.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that thing was ranked like the top 3 in the United States of those kind of markets here recently in some magazine?
I hadn't heard that yet.
No, it's pretty cool. Like it's getting a lot of attention and it's really successful. And if you haven't been, go visit the Christkindl Market. It's really cool. But there was a magazine recently that posted the top 25 markets like this in the United States for
Okay.
Christmas. And I think this one was number 3.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that we can have that in Roswell. It's well laid out, and there are shuttles for parking. You can find out more information by checking out Roswell365.com. Next on our list, if you have never attended a Hanukkah celebration, I encourage you to do so at the heart of Roswell Park. That is this Thursday, December 14th at 5:30 p.m. You can park right here at City Hall and walk over. It's presented by Chabad of downtown Roswell, and you can come celebrate the last night of Hanukkah with a kid-friendly public lighting of the menorah in the heart of Roswell Park. It sounds like our very own Roswell Fire Department will be dropping treats and prizes from a fire truck ladder. Do we know about this? Did I spill the beans?
No, you can spill the beans.
Could be a lot of fun. It sounds like Mayor Wilson will be there to share warm greetings as we join together to celebrate the last night of Hanukkah. We'll have donuts, piping hot cocoa, and tasty latkes. So come on out for that. Again, Thursday, December 14th at 5:30, heart of Roswell Park. We also have History Seek Saturday, which is featuring caroling like the Dickens. That is December 16th from 1 to 3 at Mimosa Hall. This is a kid-friendly, family-friendly holiday event with live caroling and a craft. You can join friends or meet new friends for holiday craft and caroling with Like the Dickens, which is a cappella quartet. See the lovely holiday decorations and make a holiday craft. The event is free and a drop-in format between 1 and 3 on December 16th. You can find out more information about that at Roswell365.com. Then I want to tell you also the same day you can leave there and go straight to the Roswell Cultural Arts Center for the Atlanta Vocal Project, Ringing in the Holidays. This is Saturday, December 16th at 3 p.m., again at Roswell Cultural Arts Center. The Atlanta Vocal Project brings Atlanta's acclaimed a cappella community together for their annual holiday concert. This event exemplifies the spirit of the holidays with a stage full of the most wonderful singers performing your holiday favorites in perfect harmony. Ticket information can be found on Roswell365.com. We also have 2 more puppet shows this year at Cultural Arts Center. If you just search puppet show or puppets on Roswell365.com, it will tell you exactly what and where to be. Sunday, December 17th, from 1 to 4 p.m. in Town Square. That's the historic original Town Square. We have a festival of trees going right now. Family, friends, and pets are welcome for a photo op and crafts sponsored by Roswell Garden Club, going on again from 1 to 4 on Sunday, December 17th. And then, Mayor, shall I make this announcement, or would you like to?
Switch it over to me if you're ready.
All right, I'm going to hand this over to the mayor for a very special announcement.
Well, I've got, the first announcement that's very special is yesterday, December the 10th, Sunday. We couldn't announce it because we weren't here, but it was the birthday of our very celebrated city administrator, Mr. Randy Knighton, who happened to be 39 yesterday. So congratulations. Happy birthday, Randy.
Thank you, sir.
We're all better off for your staying youthful. And then I brought up Deputy City Administrator, Mr. Leatherman. And Jeff, I guess this is as good a time as any to let folks know that Alive in Roswell is a 2023 Best of Georgia winner in Georgia Business Journal's annual Readers Poll in the festivals category, right? Now, am I telling folks about this? Am I telling? Okay, very good. You got something going up? I'm right after you're done. All right. Georgia Business Journal readers and editors have weighed in on the best of everything in Georgia, honoring thousands of businesses and organizations in more than 25 broad business and community sectors. And Roswell's Alive in Roswell has been named one of the state's best festivals. This award is a testament to the hard work of city staff and the support of council in bringing family-friendly events that everyone can enjoy in our community. The Best of Georgia process starts with a nomination on the Best of Georgia website. Voting remains open throughout the year with hundreds of thousands of votes ultimately received. Best of Georgia winners and nominees are chosen by a combination of readers' votes and editors' input and are vetted through several ranking sites, Better Business Bureau reports, and voting pattern analysis reports. Now we're going to show you a short video showing Alive in Roswell this past year. Perhaps it'll be a silent movie, Jeff. Hey guys, Kurt Wilson, Mayor Roswell. We're here at Alive in Roswell. Come every third Thursday of the month, downtown Arnold Roswell Park, downtown Canton Street.
Alive in Roswell is one huge party. It just gives us another reason to bring out a really good band, to bring out a really good food truck. If you've never been here, it's interesting to come and see what it looks like when a city completely shuts down their main corridor and everyone just comes out to have fun. And that's parents, that's kids, that's single people, that's older people, that's younger people. The demographic is all over the place. And it's really great to see everybody just kind of being neighborly and hanging out and just having a good time.
We come every time. We get balloon animals, face painted, parents have a good time. It's awesome.
I mean, we love it. We would not miss it ever. They've changed over the years, which has been for the better. It's more fun, more family oriented. It's just 7,000 of your closest friends.
Well, we've done some shopping, we've listened to some great music, sampled some of the vendors' food, we've had a good time.
It's a good family fun for everyone. I mean, there's a dude getting his hair cut over there, kids walking around, balloon hats. I mean, everything, you can ask for everything for any age over here.
It's an event like no other. It is unspoken magic. We have something that can't be duplicated, and it's just naturally a slam-packed, great event that everyone loves.
It's an opportunity to get out, celebrate, have a wonderful time, and celebrate the wonderful city that we live in and enjoy each other's company.
It's energy, it's the connections of people, it's the neighbors you see, it's the coworkers you see. It's just an exciting time to be in Roswell.
Jeff, congratulations to you and the team, to Steve, to Chris, to everybody involved in this for making this happen month after month throughout the year, and Randy, to everybody. So congratulations to you guys. Thank you so much, Jeff. So next is the consent agenda. I'm going to ask council to pull off item number 3, which is the approval of a final plat, Astor 845 6 Cox Road. I'm going to ask council to please pull that off. Yes, sir, Councilmember Palermo.
Could we also pull off item number 4 and item number 5?
Item number 4, and item number 5. So items number 3, 4, and 5 have been requested. Councilmember Palermo, can I put you as the requester of item 3, 4, and 5?
Sure.
All right. So will you make a motion to do that, please, sir? Make a motion to pull items 3, 4, and 5 off the consent agenda. Motion by Councilmember Palermo. Is it seconded? Seconded by Councilmember Johnson. All in favor of putting items 3, 4, and 5 off the consent agenda, please raise your hands. Passes unanimous. Items 3, 4, and 5 will not be treated as part of the consent agenda and treated as regular items. So let me go to the consent agenda. Are there any questions about items 1, 2, and 6 on the consent agenda from council? Being that there are no questions from council or comments, are there any questions or comments from any Roswell residents? Being that there are no comments or questions from any Roswell residents, bring it back to council. Being that there are none, is there a motion to approve items 1, 2, and 6 on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilmember Hills. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Johnson. All in favor of passing items 1, 2, and 6 on the consent agenda, please raise your hands. Consent agenda items 1, 2, and 6, please. First item on the consent agenda, number 3, approval of final plat Astor 845 Cox Road, Community Development. Councilmember Palermo, would you like to bring up that item?
Item number 3, approval of the final plat, Astor 845 Cox Road. And Ms. Dybel, I assume you'd be able to show this?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the final plat for Astor at 845 Cox Road. Property was rezoned in 2021 to RS30, single-family residential, for 24 one-acre lots. On the plat, currently, as indicated, they have a 6-foot sidewalk located on Cox Road. They have a 5-foot sidewalk with 5-foot grass strip on the interior roads. This is the final plat showing the 24 lots. They have all the signatures. It's been approved by all departments, and it's been signed by Fulton County. They are ready for their final plat to be approved so they can get it recorded and start building the homes.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank
you
you.
very much. Does Councilmember Palermo?
Thank you, Mayor Wilson. I just, since it's probably my last final plat, just want to give a background from a comm dev perspective. So I was here for this rezoning. I believe Councilmember Hall was here as a part of this rezoning. That being said, this council is not voting on whether or not you support the fact that these will be single-family homes or the fact they'll be acre lots. That's not what you're approving when you vote to approve a final plat. What you are approving is basically the city taking the public infrastructure. And so, for example, if you were to see that it does not have the required sidewalks, that would be a reason to vote against it, because we're not going to accept a final plat that does not have what the city requires, as well as just other conditions that were a part of the zoning. So I, of course, will be supporting this tonight. I just wanted to clarify, again, you're not supporting whether or not you support the rezoning that occurred to these 1-acre lots, but you're just voting regarding the infrastructure. Mr. Davidson, do you feel I missed anything there?
No, that sums it up pretty well.
Well said, Mike. Thanks for sharing that and bringing us up to speed. It's always helpful, your knowledge on items of pertaining to community development as well as other things. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Being that there are none, Councilmember Pallone, would you like to make a motion?
Motion to approve the final plat for 845 Cox Road.
Thank you very much. Is there a second on that item? Seconded by Councilmember Beeson. All in favor, please raise your hands. The approval of final plat for Astor 845 Cox Road is unanimous. Thank you very much. Next item is the approval for the mayor and/or city administrator to sign a contract with FS Gardsboro. I believe that falls under Environmental Public Works. Councilmember, yes, ma'am.
I will be flagging that I'm recusing myself from items number 4 and items number 5 as my firm has an existing contract on works or existing projects with these engineering firms. So I'll be recusing myself for 4 and 5 as I did during committee.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Don't go far. Hopefully it won't be long.
Yell for you.
Okay. Yes,
Mayor
sir.
Wilson, so I will say, as the person that requested this off, unless the public or this council would like to see a presentation of these two items, I don't have any questions or comments from the committee. I think was pretty clear. I just did it to, I always want to ensure a consent agenda is fully unanimous without any recusals.
Thank you, sir. Okay, very much. So, Will, would you like to present the items 4 and 5 real quick? And you can present them contiguously, if I understand, Michael, your intention. So go ahead and present items 4 and 5 in conjunction.
All right. Number 4, approval for the mayor and/or city administrator to sign a contract with FS Scarborough LLC for the stormwater roadway improvements Roswell Transfer Station project in the total amount of $560,343.50. Number 5, approval for the mayor and/or city administrator to authorize execution of a task order in the amount not to exceed $29,463.01 with the city's on-call consultant, United Consulting, for construction materials, testing services for State Route 92 at Woodstock Road, King Road project, and the approval of a budget amendment BA 3504200-12-11-23 in the amount of $29,464.
Thanks, Councilmember Mortland. Does council have any thoughts, questions, or comments on items 4 or 5 that were pulled off the consent agenda? Being there are none, I will ask any Roswell residents if you have any comments, thoughts, or questions on items 4 or 5 that are pulled off the consent agenda. Being that there are none, I bring it back to council for any final comments, thoughts, or questions. Being that there are not, Council Mortland, would you like to make a motion to approve items number 4 and number 5 that were pulled off the consent agenda as you have heretofore mentioned?
Yes, sir. Motion to approve for the mayor and/or city administrator to sign a contract with FS Scarborough LLC for the stormwater roadway improvements Roswell Transfer Station project in the total amount of $560,000. $343.50. Approval for the mayor and/or city administrator to authorize execution of a task order in the amount not to exceed $29,463.01 with the city's on-call consultant, United Consulting, for construction materials testing services for the State Route 92 at Woodstock Road, King Road project, and approval of a budget amendment BA 3504200-12-11-23 in the amount of $29,464.
Thank you, Councilman Mortland, for the motion on items 4 and 5. Is there a second on items 4 and 5?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Hills. All in favor of items 4 and 5 that were pulled off the consent agenda, please raise your hands. Motion passes unanimously for both items 4 and 5 pulled off the consent agenda, as heretofore described by Councilmember Mortland. Thank you so much. Well done. Come on back, Sarah. So we'll go to the transportation area next, and I'll wait for Sarah to get back up here. Transportation Department Liaison is Councilmember G. Lee Hills. So Councilmember Hills, would you read the first item, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1, approval to modify the alignment of the Big Creek Parkway T-Splosh project. Director Littlefield, I yield to you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hills. Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Hey, Jeff.
Trying to get the screen to come up. All right. little bit of background on the Big Creek Parkway alignment. In 2016, Big Creek Parkway was approved by the voters as a T-SPLOST project in order to improve east-west connectivity across the Georgia 400 corridor. On September 9th, 2019, the mayor and council voted to change the Big Creek Parkway T-SPLOST project alignment. The alignment voted on in 2019 utilizes the existing Old Holcomb Bridge Road corridor connecting to Holcomb Bridge Road and the Big Creek Parkway Bridge over Georgia 400 via a loop ramp. December 20, the city entered into a IGA with GDOT to commit $15 million to the Georgia 400 project over time. That $15 million was actually for the interchange at Holcomb Bridge Road. More recent coordination with GDOT during the approval of another IGA in 2023. That IGA is for GDOT to build the bridge over 400 with the Big Creek Parkway as part of their Georgia 400 Express Lanes project. This is a picture, and if you look at the original alignment in green on the right-hand side of your screen, that pretty much stays the same in the existing 2016 or the existing 2019 alignment as well as the 2016 alignment. The 2016 alignment had a loop that went down in orange to Old Holcomb Bridge and then had a Warsaw connection on the left-hand side of the screen. The original alignment in 2016 is the lavender color to the top. What the proposal is this item is to discuss the original alignment for Big Creek Parkway project and to determine if the mayor and council desire to modify the project's alignment. Modifying it means taking it from the orange alignment with the loop to the lavender color across to Warsaw Road. Sorry about that. The financial impacts, this item triggers an impact based on cost escalations since the 2016 prices, and then also the $15 million committed to GDOT. Construction prices have continued to significantly outpace traditional inflation trends due to supply materials and labor shortages within the construction industry. So basically what we're asking is, do we want to go back to the original alignment in 2016 or continue on with the loop alignment that was voted on in 2019? We believe that the 2016 alignment does provide better connectivity for the city, and RDOT feels that it's a more beneficial alignment.
Thank you, Jeff. Is that the end of the presentation?
Yes, sir. For this
I know you
item.
could go on for hours talking about it, so.
Yeah, this is a nonstop item.
My guess is that probably all the council probably want to weigh in on this. This is a potentially momentous occasion for the city of Roswell, and having worked with you and Rich and Randy and all the senior leadership of Jeff and Sharon and everyone in your team, and then with the courage of this existing council, everybody on this dais, this is a big deal. It's kind of hard to express what a big deal this is, so this is why we're bringing it up tonight. And imagine, Councilmember Palermo, since you were the transportation liaison last year, no disrespect to G. Lee Hills, and this is your last regular meeting, that you probably want to start off this discussion.
I appreciate your intuition, Mayor. So I definitely appreciate staff, the work that took to put this together and bring this forward tonight, and really just so appreciative of this mayor and council. This is such an important project, and similar to how Oxbow was at such a standstill, and then in the beginning of 2022, this mayor and council got together, got focused with staff, really pushing the urgency of making progress and completing what started. It's a similar situation with this, that in the last year, I've seen more progress with this mayor and council urgently wanting to bring in enhancements to really just improve our quality of life, as well as follow through what the voters asked for, which was certainly Big Creek Parkway. And so I think without a doubt, it is the right thing to go back to the original alignment. That was clearly the more popular, more beneficial alignment, and definitely really just give credit to this mayor and council for bringing that back, and also the fact that even in the last year, not only has progress been made to bring us to tonight, but also the fact that in that last year as well, what we've also seen, and actually I guess it's really 2 years, because if I go back to the beginning of 2022, it's actually 2 years from now. Basically, just the fact that we entered into the agreement with GDOT, so we made the clear showing with GDOT telling us that a decision needed to be made if we're moving forward with the bridge. And of course, this mayor and council said absolutely, and that's why we entered into that agreement, because of course their contractors need to be the ones to build it. So just really appreciative of the progress, and hope to see the continued urgency as I watch, and can't wait to see this make real progress.
Thank you, Councilmember Palermo. Councilmember Hills.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for that, Councilmember Palermo. I agree with everything you said, and two big things. Not only are we reverting back to the original layout, which I believe is the best route, we're also doing it. We're not just talking about it for 3 or 4 or 5 or maybe 7 more years. So I think that's as big a deal as getting it right. This is not going to connect to 400. It is not going to have express lanes on it. It does have a multi-use trail, 2 bike lanes, and then of course sidewalks. So it's part of the Complete Streets project, and I think it's going to really enhance going forward in the city of Roswell once our DDI, the Diamond Divergent Interchange, takes place and is ready to roll on Holcomb Bridge. And then, of course, we've got Grimes Bridge coming. So this will alleviate more of our east-west traffic congestion and really make a difference in the future of our city and the lifestyle of our residents. So thank you, Director Littlefield, and thank you, Mayor and Council, for getting behind this so rapidly and earnestly. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Lee. And Mike and Lee, thank you for your work, both of you, in the transportation area the last 2 years. It's been of great consequence. And this project has been something that was identified early, and it's been a heavy lift by everybody on this dais, so thank you, and by everybody on senior staff, thank you, and the Transportation Department. Councilmember Johnson, would you like to weigh in, sir? You don't have to. No,
No, I voted for this in 2016. I live very close to this, to the old Alabama connection point. And the reason why I voted for this is because I'm really tired, and the residents that live in the east side of Roswell are really tired of it taking 45 minutes to get to City Hall, like on my first day that I was here. So I'm very excited for this project. I think this is a great project for the city of Roswell, and what I'm most excited about is when I take my son to baseball or my daughter to gymnastics. It won't take 50 minutes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll hopefully take 15. So this is a good project for our city. And once again, we voted for this, and the east side feels a little left out a lot of times. As currently the only council member on the east side, I think it's good to get some loving every now and then. So I'm excited for this project.
Exactly, and to your point, David, you can see that this council's been working hard. Not all of it gets advertised because a lot of work happens in the trenches. This council's been working hard on a lot of things for all parts of the city, but especially the east side of our city. And this project's example of, this is a big lift. And to your point was, the voters, we voted on this in 2016 on T-Splosh 1. And in 2019, the elected leadership of the city of Roswell, the mayor and council, changed it to the alignment there that you see in 2019. So it's hard to go back and change something after it's been voted on by your elected officials, and there's a lot of work that's been done. So major kudos to this council. Councilmember Hall, would you like to weigh in?
Thank you. I agree with everything that's been said. The original plan is, it's, I think, far superior. The voters did vote on it during T-Splosh. It connects to Warsaw a little bit further north. It's more logical just from a connectivity standpoint, and just it's been a huge lift, and thanks to the mayor's leadership and establishing lost relationships that have helped this council and the city be able to consider this again and make it a reality. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Christine. Very kind. Councilor Mortland.
Yeah, the comments provided by my fellow council members to this point have been spot on. I mean, there's really not a whole lot more that I can add to this. This is a connectivity improvement. We're going to get people across the interstate faster, safer, across the board. Just a really solid move, and I appreciate everybody being willing to to pick this up and make the best decision for all Roswell residents.
Thank you, Councilmember Mortland. Councilmember Beeson.
Not too much to contribute beyond what's already been said. I do support the aspect of the intercity connectivity too. I don't think anyone's covered that so far. So currently in the city of Roswell, more often than not, you have to exit the city limits in order to cross from east and west and back and forth. This allows for us to cross back and forth or have better mobility between the western side of 400 and the eastern side of 400 without having to leave our city limits. Also takes the major pressure points off of one of our major arterials and improves mobility across the city, but also can contribute to better and improved economic development, especially in East Roswell moving forward.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I just want to say, it's hard to express how much work's been done on this. Jeff, thank you. Your leadership in coming on board last year, big help. Just a big lift, you and your team, but you have been instrumental, and your team has. Randy, you and Rich, obviously, and the senior team of Jeff and Sharon. And I can't say enough about this council. Everybody on this dais, David, we're going to include you because you get to vote on this tonight. But everybody on this dais has worked hard on this, and it's really, I can't tell you, this takes a little courage. It's easy to come up here and laud it, but I tell you, behind the scenes, it's been a lot of work, and I'm really proud of everybody up on this dais, so thank you very much. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this over to Jeff, unless you have anything you want to say. I'm going to turn it over to our Roswell residents and see if they want to weigh in on this. Okay. Are there Roswell residents who would like to weigh in on this? Yes, ma'am. Welcome, and glad you're here. And then share with us your name and where you live in Roswell. And I got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes, so enjoy yourself.
Well, my name's Lauren Fields,
Hey,
and
Lauren.
I live in Liberty Square subdivision.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you're looking at that area, that's my neighborhood. So what I want to, and Councilmember Beeson, wish you would get insight to this, because this is a big creek. I know you're not showing the water there, but if you, just today I was at Oxbow Road, and the water is very deep. It's flowing big. It's beautiful. It is one of our best treasures of Roswell that we have not brought into tuition yet, even though it should have been. And so by going through your alignment in the lavender, you are going to go right over the creek, just destroy the nature of the wetlands and all that has potential to be in a beltway, a greenway for Roswell, because that is Big Creek. I mean, the government made it a national park, called it Vickery Creek, but it's the same creek. The difference in the road, I mean, I remember because this has been going on for 15 years, I know that the current alignment is less expensive to build than the one you're proposing. The difference on Warsaw Road where you come out is just, a block. That's not the reason to make it. Going over for our Roswell residents, that's terrific. But going with the current one is so much better for the future of Roswell. I could go on and on about it, but there's just so much potential with that water. It's beautiful. It's a natural resource, and with that, just like the Chattahoochee, it is a money maker if you would develop it in that direction. So, okay.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much. Are there Roswell residents who would like to address the matter? Yes, sir. Welcome. Please share with everybody your name and where you live in Roswell. You're welcome.
Hi, Charles Krieger. I live at Horseshoe Bend. Just curious about where that comes off on Warsaw Road. Can you tell me, is that going to be on the other side of Old Roswell, or the?
Be at Warsaw Road, right?
So where is Old Roswell in respect to this?
Right up here.
So this is coming into Warsaw Road?
Yes, sir. Here's the apartment complexes. Those are houses here.
Maybe get back to me later on. Exactly, I'm just curious, because I have property on Warsaw Road, so I'm curious as to where that is. And this might not be the proper venue or forum. Just wondering, what was the thought process in going from one to the other and back to the one again. Just, I wasn't around for that, I didn't know. If this isn't the right venue, that's fine too, you can get back to me later.
Mike, you'd like to take that? Yes, sir?
I would, so definitely the right venue, so great question. It was purely cost saving. So as mentioned, the orange, the revised alignment that we had voted on in 2019, it was seen as inferior and had a lot of residents that were very frustrated about it, but ultimately it was being done because it was going to save money. And with that, it was considered a significant difference because it's such a more of a straight shot, because this is helping so many people that are also going north as well, to whether it be to a number of parks that we have up here and other reasons Roswell residents are trying to get from east to west. I'd say from an environmental standpoint, everything that this current RDOT has walked me through, as well as the multiple prior RDOT administrations, there's a lot of focus, and a lot of the spend is on environmental caution and aspects of that, being raised above the wetlands and different aspects like that. So there certainly are environmental considerations that are taken into account. But again, it went from creating an inferior one to save money, bringing it back to the more popular one that residents had voted on.
So if I'm understanding correctly, it goes along where it says 2016, then it makes the loop, and then it goes on to the Lavender? Am I seeing that correctly?
No, that's the loop that went with the...
So there's no loop, it just goes straight through?
No, sir. It could be a potential, but it's literally potential future connectivity.
Oh, so that's not done
that's
yet.
not as part of this.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Thanks, Charles. Thank you.
Yeah.
Other Roswell residents? Yes, ma'am, welcome. Please share with us your name and where you live in Roswell.
I'm Julie Burrows, and I live in Kensington Square. I'm kind of new to this whole thing. I remember way back in probably 2016 going to a community event about this. I do live off of Old Alabama, just north of this, and I agree with what I'm hearing tonight about the 2016 version being a good solution to this. The 2019 version, in my opinion, is too long, and I have safety issues about that particular version. And from where I live, I personally would not use the 2019 to get from East Roswell to West Roswell. So the other thing that I was wondering about is on Warsaw Road at Old Alabama, Old Roswell, where they come together. If you know where St. David's Church is, there's a traffic light there. And I was wondering if this includes any improvements or left turn arrows for that particular traffic light, because people turning left from Mansell go around people, and it's kind of a scary intersection. And this will bring in more traffic, I believe. And just hope that that traffic light will have some consideration to it.
I think, Jeff, don't we have something that works on that in particular intersection right now, separate than all this? We just finished it. Then we just the last council meeting? 2 months ago?
2 months ago, we added turn lanes to Old Roswell and Warsaw Road.
Thank you. I love this council. Thank you.
And Julie, I think you kind of, you said in very plain-spoken language what we thought when we first got in, because we all remembered 2016 and T+1 that we voted on this. And honestly, I don't think most people know that the 2016 plan was amended to the 2019 plan. So when we got in and we saw the 2019 plan, we said, and we got into it and we looked, and honestly, the 2019 plan was created for a couple of reasons. It took $15 million out of the project. So it made it $15 million cheaper, technically, but it didn't. So then we wrote a check with that $15 million savings. We literally wrote a check to the state of Georgia to get them to move up their timetable on the diverging diamond interchange. So we used this project, which to me, highest priority project that the voters voted on in T+1, we changed it. And we took money out of the project and we gave it to the state to move up a different project. So when we came in, we said, yeah, probably wasn't the best idea. So we said, let's go back to the 2016 project, which we voted on. It's easy to say, it's hard to do. That's why it's now in front of you. it's now in front of the dais, and to say, hey, can we go back to the 2016 project? That sounds real simple, because ideally, it would have been nice to start the project, to start the drawing of that project in 2016 or 2017. We didn't, i.e. dice in 2019, we were able to change it. If we had to do this all over again, I would have said to the leadership, please start this project in 2017. This project had been done by now. It also would have been legitimately a lot less expensive, because Jeff probably mentioned it, there's a huge gap in cost between 2016 and arguably 2024. And that's what we're talking about. And I don't think everybody in this room is familiar with what's happened to the cost, the supply chain, construction costs, vendors, the labor shortage. Everybody knows that costs have escalated. And so we are now presented with that. When we talked about that, and that was a real challenge for us when the state said to us, are you going to we need to know if you're going to do the bridge or not. So they kind of called and said, hey, it's time for you to make a decision. And so to this council's credit, and the senior leadership team's credit, they said, we're prepared to make the decision. Let's go back to the 2016 alignment. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
And the 2016 alignment, just FYI, I do believe has great consideration about environmental impact, if I remember, as it was presented to us and voters. Jeff, if you want to go into that a little bit. And I think that, Lauren, you made mention about the river, the Chattahoochee. Let you know, the good news is you've approved $35 million. You've approved the $35 million river master plan, which is exactly addressing, I think, what you brought up about, hey, let's spend money and be intentional about it, about how we improve our 7 contiguous miles on the Chattahoochee River. That's exactly what we're doing right now. So thank you for bringing that up. Jeff, you want to bring up the environmental impact issues?
Yes, since we're asking for GDOT funds, state funds, we will be going through the GDOT environmental process. And a large portion of this, almost in the center of your screen in lavender, is on structure to avoid impacts to the wetlands.
It's elevated, exactly. Very good. All right, other Roswell residents would like to address this issue. Thank you for everybody who did. Thank you for your comments and your thoughts and your questions. If there's no one else, I'd like to bring it back to council. Council and any additional, yes, ma'am, Councilmember Beeson.
To the residents' concern, totally hear you. When we were originally discussing the realignment going back to the original process, could you go back, sorry, to that slide with the lavender? When we were looking at the original alignment of 2016 versus 2019 versus that golden part, so that was one of the reasons why they were looking at going back to that original alignment. Because of topography, it sits significantly higher than the other surrounding areas. So it doesn't delve into the lowlands where the creek bed is, which is what you're discussing. But to Mr. Littlefield's point as well, we will have to go through an entire environmental assessment process for GDOT requirements. And that will also, it will have a public comment period for the most part, but going back to the whole reason of us trying to make sure that we do this in the least environmentally impactful way as possible, there are significant requirements that we have to cross first. Because I hear you, I do share concerns about impacts on our creek beds and our watershed as a whole. But I do believe, based off of concerns that we discussed previously, that the original alignment will hopefully assuage those concerns.
Thank you, sir. Any other thoughts, Councilmember Johnson?
I just want to add, I really hope our local delegation helps us out on the funding of this project.
Amen. Thank you, David. Be counting on you. Any thoughts, comments, questions from council? Being that they're none, Councilmember Hills, would you like to give it the honor to Councilmember Palermo, would you to make this note, or would you like to do it?
I would love to give this to Councilmember Palermo.
All right. Sorry, Lee.
No sorry if necessary.
I appreciate it greatly, because again, this is an exciting one, it's an important one, and definitely want to make sure staff is continuing to move at the full speed they have been for the last 23 months. And I definitely proudly motion to approval to modify the alignment of Big Creek Parkway T-Splosh project.
Thank you, Councilmember Palermo. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Hill. All those in favor, please raise your hands. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff, very much. Councilmember Hills, there's one last transportation item. Would you read it, please, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Approval for the mayor and/or city administrator to authorize contract amendments in the amount not to exceed $2.5 million with Gresham, Smith, and Atkins for the Big Creek Parkway project. Back to you.
Thank you, Lee. Hold on one second, Jeff.
Yes.
Councilmember Beeson, yes, ma'am.
I will be recusing myself from this item as I do have some potential pending work with one of the contractors. I'll be leaving again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, sorry about that. Jeff, sorry, Lee. Jeff, floor is yours.
Thanks, sir. Gresham Smith is the city's design consultant for the Big Creek Parkway project, and Atkins is the T-Splosh project manager. Some work has already been done by Gresham Smith. The contract amendment will be needed for Gresham Smith and Atkins to allow Gresham Smith to develop the construction plans and for Atkins to manage the design process. Contract amendment will be done on an as-needed basis with a total amount not to exceed $2.5 million. Staff recommendation approval of this item in order to advance the design of the Big Creek Parkway project. As everyone knows, GDOT has the 400 Express Lane project moving forward, and we also have an IGA with GDOT, so they're building our bridge, so we need to be in line because our IGA states that within 1 year of the completion of the bridge, we will be permitted and have a contract let to connect to that bridge. The financial impact, funding in the amount of $443,668 is available in the T-Splosh 1 program management account, and $32,381,257 is available in the Big Creek Parkway T-Splosh 1 account.
And if approved?
Approved, begin activities to secure consultant services and get moving with the permitting and the design process and going through the GDOT environmental process.
So you move quick. The council just approved a realignment, and you're already asking for money to get going and start and getting this thing going, right?
Anticipation, but we would have also had to do this because GDOT is building the bridge and we don't want a bridge to nowhere.
Amen. Thank you. Councilmember Hills, do you want to weigh in on this at all?
Sure. I will say it's really cool that Councilmember Palermo got to be the hero in approving the realignment, and I'm stuck with asking for the money.
Sorry.
But no, I'm in full favor, and I'm delighted that we're moving on this as quickly and responsibly as we are.
Thank you, Lee. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Being there none, any Roswell residents that would like to weigh in on this matter? Being that there are none, I bring it back to council for final thoughts, comments, or questions on the matter at hand. Being that there are none, Councilmember Hills, do you have a motion?
I do. Motion to approve for the mayor and/or city administrator to authorize contract amendments in an amount not to exceed $2.5 million with Gresham, Smith, and Atkins for the Big Creek Parkway project.
Thank you very much, Lee. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilmember Palermo. All in favor, please raise your hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you. Councilmember Beeson, come back. Thank you, Jeff, for all your hard work. I know you and your team have been at that. This is taking up a lot of time. And a grateful city. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Lee. All right, this time is the city attorney's report. City Attorney Davidson, would you read your first item on your report, sir?
Thank you, Mayor. The first item I have is approval of a resolution instituting a temporary moratorium on new massage establishment licenses and occupation tax certificate applications for new massage establishments within the city of Roswell. As you know, when this mayor in office came into office, one of their main objectives was to do away with the illicit massage establishments. We adopted an ordinance strengthening our old ordinance. The police have been enforcing that, and in that ordinance, we have found some loopholes that have allowed these illicit massage establishments to basically go out of business and reopen in less than 24, 48 hours. The intent is to go in and find a mechanism through zoning and through other means, working with some of the other massage establishments that are legitimate, and hopefully craft a new, stronger ordinance that will prohibit these illicit massage establishments from coming back into the city.
Thank you, City Attorney David Davidson. Thank you, Chief of Police Jim Conroy. Thank you, COO Rich Reinhardt, and thank you, our city administrator, Mr. Randy Knighton, for your specific work on this. Police Chief Jim Conroy, did you want to add anything to this, sir?
Shy away from the microphone.
Why not? You're a natural politician.
Good evening, Mayor, City. Oh, never. As the city attorney mentioned, we're doing our best to address the illicit massage parlors that exist in the city. During our investigation throughout the past year and a half, we've uncovered a great deal about the organized and even the ones that are what we call hybrids. They do some legal massages and some illegal business, but we lump those into the illicit category as well. And they're adept at finding loopholes in the ordinance, and this is one of the loopholes that they have found that they're exploiting, and we're looking to put a stop to that as well. What they're trying to do is circumvent the 3 convictions. So by changing ownership, as soon as we go in and make a case, they're trying to change ownership of the establishment to circumvent those rules. And we've learned other things that we would like to address. Our investigators and our line level personnel in the business license office came up with some great ideas that are going to help amend our ordinances.
God bless you. Thank you, Police Chief Jim Conroy. Thanks, Conroy. Mr. Conroy, Chief Conroy, and you don't have to go far. I'm sure we'll call on you again. I can't thank you enough because obviously your police force has been hard at work. You've been involved in some very publicized and intensive investigations that have served not only Roswell, but the entire North Fulton area, including the city of Atlanta, addressing some of these illegal massage parlors and human trafficking. And it is worth noting that the city of Roswell's police force has been actively working on this undercover for some time and with great success. And this is an additional motive to clean up any loopholes, not only attack it from the organized crime perspective, but also attack it from kind of the, hey, this is the ongoing matter of fact that is continuing to happen and we need to stop it. So I really appreciate your leadership, Jim. Appreciate your leadership, David. Appreciate your leadership, Rich, at home, and appreciate your leadership, Randy, for getting on top of this. With that being said, Council, any thoughts, comments, or questions? Councilmember Hills.
Thank you, Mayor. I think that we can all say that we have driven by places where we've raised an eyebrow and thought, wonder what's going on over there. Well, no more in Roswell. We're not putting up with it. Right after I was elected in 21, Councilmember Morthland, Mayor Wilson, and I met with Christine Hall and Mike Palermo, and we didn't have a quorum because the newly elected were not sworn in yet. So this illicit behavior, illicit massage establishments continue to be at the top of our list. Not number 1, but top 10. And it's repulsive and just really disappointing that there's that much business for that to be going on in our precious city of Roswell. And I feel like this is a little big town and that we should know what's going on in every corner and not put a blind eye on this sort of behavior. So when we got to work 2 years ago with City Attorney Davidson, Chief Conroy, they were full on, all in. Same with City Administrator Mr. Knighton, and of course more recently our Chief Operating Officer Rich Reinhardt. Just unbelievable support and unwavering time spent delving into how we can fix this, how we can get these scumbags out of here. And we don't want them going to our next door neighbors. We want them in jail. We want them gone. You're not welcome here. We are very committed to making sure that our massage establishments that are doing good business continue to do that and to thrive and to help people on their way to wellness and a better lifestyle, but not through means of sexual behavior, trafficking young ladies and men, prostitution, which I don't believe that's a choice. I believe that's another form of trafficking. That's my opinion. But this is a big deal to the city of Roswell, and we're going to set the pace for the rest of our cities around us. And we're not stopping until we're done moving this junk out of here. It's unacceptable. Our children deserve better. Our neighbors deserve better. And those that are caught up in this system of organized crime, they deserve better. So I am proud to say that we're moving forward. And when we catch the next loopholes, you'll see us back here on the dais to take care of the next round. So thank you to all of you that have supported this and have worked so hard and continue to work so hard to clean up the mess. This is a great place, and I'm committed to standing behind that.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Hills, for your leadership in this from the get-go. Councilmember Hall?
Thank you, Councilmember Hills. That was very well said, and I believe shared by all of us here on the dais. I also want to recognize our community members. Our community has been involved in, very involved in this, in helping us identify areas where we could improve, and it takes a village, and that's what we have here. So I just want to reach out and say a big thank you to our community members that have also been working with us and helping us in this cause.
Thank you, Christine. Councilmember Mortland.
Chief Conroy, real quick. To piggyback off of what Councilmember Hall just brought up, can you review the anonymous tip line piece for our community? See something, say something very quickly.
I don't have the phone number in front of me, but we will have it for you. But we do have an anonymous tip line, an anonymous email that you can contact us to send us information. What we need when we get those is we need details. We don't need, hey, I think there's prostitution going on in this location. We need some details. Hey, there's a white vehicle with this person. Here's a description of the driver. We want as many details as possible. We do have to go into these locations. We have a two-pronged approach. Our overt is we go in with uniforms to check permits, but we also have a strong undercover operation that we go into these establishments where we go in and pose as individuals who are seeking these services and are highly successful in receiving those services when we do these investigations. So the more details we have, the easier it is for our personnel to go in and infiltrate the organizations.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Very good. At this time, I'll bring it to our Roswell residents. Any comments, thoughts? Yes, sir. Do me a favor and share us again who you are, Charles. Let everybody know and where you live.
Charles Krieger, Horseshoe Bend. What's the definition of a massage therapist?
I mean,
I don't have it with me, but it's somebody that's licensed by the state of Georgia.
So they do have to be licensed to call themselves a massage therapist?
Correct.
So this is kind of new to me. So these illicit venues are operating under a licensed massage therapist?
Yes, that's the way they're coming in.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes things like that can be a little vague. Like I know the guy operating the cash register at Rite Aid can call himself a nutritionist, but he's not a certified clinical nutritionist. I wasn't sure if the same thing was true with massage. Okay.
Let me expound on that just a little bit. So, great question. The first phase of the ordinance adjustment addressed just that. The state does regulate massage therapists. Massage therapists, or those licensed through the state, are the only people allowed to touch customers inside these establishments. What many of them at the time were doing was they had people, they said, this is our receptionist, this is a cleaning crew member who were performing these services, and the only way to find it is to go in undercover and catch these people in the process. So one of the things we did in the first round of the ordinance was any employee in the location that is not licensed by the state must have a permit issued by the police department. And the permit must explain what their job is at that location. So that was one of the loopholes they were previously doing. They're very adept organizations. There's a lot of money involved in this business, and they know what they're doing, and they know how to exploit loopholes as much as they can find them. So as soon as we have a new set of ordinances, they're going to find some loopholes. And like Councilmember Hill said, we'll be back here to adjust those and play that game as long as we can until they're out of business.
No, that does address what I was wondering, because if you're not a licensed massage therapist, you can't touch somebody. I mean, that's
absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Good question. Other Roswell residents would like to address the matter? Questions, thoughts? I mean, there are none. I'll bring it back to council for any additional thoughts or questions on the matter at hand. Just from a just commentary, and I know it's redundant, but it's worth noting out. One is that the legitimate massage therapists, and there are the vast majority in the city of Roswell, are ardent about us doing this because they want their livelihoods protected. They want their reputations protected. They want their occupation and their income protected. And this is a threat to them, just from a small business perspective, that it's confusing in the marketplace. And so I want to be very clear, someone who enjoys massage therapy, along with my wife, and I'm a big believer in the holistic health benefits to it. I too have concerns that sometimes people get put in these big swaths and everybody's guilty. There's clearly a difference here, and the police are pretty good at identifying this difference. And the second thing is that, it's not just about illicit activity and prostitution. That's real. That's not cool. We're going to stop that. But I will tell you the real undergirding issue, and it's one for me, and it's one that I just said from the standpoint of when we came in and we started talking about this literally before we got elected, was it's unconscionable that if you have the authority and the ability and the power, that you don't do something when you know there's real wrongs. Now, I can't solve human trafficking coming from China. I can't. Wish I could. But I know I can start to influence those events. And by the way, one of the things we're working on, which is not part of this agenda, is we're working on different activities on how do we solve for the people who are the real victims of human trafficking, the young ladies that get stuck here. Because often their families are at threat, and they often have nowhere to go. And it's a real tragedy. But you have to say we're not going to participate in it. And I think that's what the city is saying is we're going to stamp it out so we don't allow it to go on in the city of Roswell. I will tell you, and through Police Chief Jim Conroy's efforts, City Attorney David Davidson's efforts, City Administrator Randy Knighton's efforts, we are also working with our other sister cities, and we're taking a lead role in this because we're serious about this. We're serious about knocking out human trafficking that we know about in the city of Roswell and North Fulton. This is a matter that we take very serious. Yes, we're gonna stamp out the illicit activity in massage parlors. Most massage parlors are legitimate. The overwhelming majority are. The few are not. We're going to shut them down, and we're going to put them out of business. It's quite simple. So that's all I got. Yes, sir. Councilmember Palermo.
Really well said, Mayor Wilson. And actually, I really just want to reiterate that from when 23 months ago we made it clear at a council meeting we were going to stamp out that illicit activity, and certainly this mayor and council and the police department and staff have done a great job and great progress. And with that, it means going forward, because we do have so many legitimate massage establishments in the city of Roswell, that if anybody chooses to get a massage, they know in the city of Roswell, they are all going to be absolutely legitimate. And I think that will be just a great peace of mind. We can't guarantee that for neighboring cities or other states or around the country, but in the city of Roswell, they will be legitimate massage establishments, thanks to the work of this mayor and council, our police department, legal staff, et cetera.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, sir. You already spoke, Charles. Sorry. Councilor Beeson.
To reiterate the point as well, that while this is targeting explicitly illicit massage parlors, to support local businesses as well, I want to flag that RPD has been very proactive with the business community of reaching out and notifying folks that these changes are coming, not only with the moratorium, but also the proposed establishment licenses, requirements for those tax certificates, so that businesses are aware of these changes, that nobody's blindsided by them, but they also have the opportunity over the next coming months to be able to ask these questions directly to RPD and walk them through the process. Because again, our goal in this situation is to stamp out crime, but not necessarily to impede what would be legitimate massage businesses. So flagging for that as well. And then if you do run a massage parlor or have any questions about how to go through this process, please be sure to reach out to RPD with those questions.
Thank you, Sarah. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Being that there are none, yes, sir.
I didn't want to leave this question unanswered. Our tip number, and this is on our website, we do have a tip page on our website, 770-641-3959, and that's a number we do not trace the numbers that call in with tips on that. Or if you send an email to tips@roswellgov.com, that's TIPS@roswellgov.com.
Can we share
and those can all be anonymous.
A little bit in the meeting. Can we share that at the end of the meeting? So thanks, Jim. We're going to share that phone number and email address at the end of the meeting on the at the end of the meeting recording, correct?
On the video.
Yes, sir, on a video. Yes, sir. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, sir. Thanks for all your work. All right. This falls under Councilmember Beeson. Councilmember Beeson, would you like to make a motion?
Approval of a resolution for instituting a temporary moratorium on new massage establishment licenses and occupational tax certificates applications for new massage establishments in the city of Roswell.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a second for this? Seconded by Councilmember Hills. Okay, thanks very much. All in favor of this particular item, please raise your hands. Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. City Attorney Davidson, would you read your next item on your report, please, sir?
Thank you, Mayor. The next item I have is authorization for the mayor to sign an option for right-of-way with the Department of GDOT, Georgia Department of Transportation. Basically, about a year and a half ago, GDOT approached us about needing property for detention for the managed lane project that will be coming up 400. At the time, they offered the city $246,750 for the property. This council held out and worked an even better deal. So basically what we're going to get is the money plus 50 public parking spaces right across the street from Don White Park. I've talked to our transportation department. They estimate that if we were to build those parking spaces from the way it is now, it would be over $400,000. Recommend approval.
Thank you, David. Yeah, excellent work, Jeff. Jeff Littlefield, Director of Transportation. Excellent work, City Attorney Davidson. You guys have done a magnificent job on this. Lee, would you like to address this matter at all?
By addressing it, saying this is great, yes, I would love to say this is great.
Would you like to, is there any comment? Is there any comment? Councilmember Beeson.
I'll ask City Attorney Davidson. In this instance, with GDOT, for the area that we were going to be doing parking, that area was going to be developed regardless in this instance, correct, to accommodate the stormwater infrastructure. We're just getting the added benefit of converting that into parking spaces, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for that clarification. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Councilmember Morthland.
Lots of excited sand volleyball players are looking forward to these parking spaces.
You know, it's funny, Will, you might say that again, because actually people don't realize there is actually an impact there. It's very positive.
One of our most popular venues is the sand volleyball courts down along the river. And adding more parking down there for this park is going to be a great addition, not only to the park itself, but the entire river corridor. You can park there when these places are in play. Park there, travel all the way up and down the river through the pathways, or jump on the waterways, go back and forth. It's going to be fantastic. So.
And how many parking spaces are we adding?
Oh my God. What did we say?
50. It's a rhetorical question. I'm trying to get him to play along.
I was thinking about saying volleyball.
50, and who's paying for it?
Roswell, not Roswell, GDOT.
There we go. Yeah. Thank you. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Thank you very much. Roswell residents, any Roswell residents like to weigh in on this matter? Being there none, bring it back to council for any final questions, comments, or questions? Being there none, Council Member Hills, I believe this is yours. Would you like to make a motion?
I would love to make a motion. Motion to authorize for the mayor to sign an option for right-of-way with the Department of Transportation, also known as GDOT.
Thank you so much, Lee. Is there a second on the matter? Seconded by Councilmember Halls. All in favor of passing this item, please raise your hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. City Attorney Davidson, would you read your next item, please, sir?
Thank you, Mayor. The next item I have is a grant of an easement for a cell tower at Lita Thompson Park. In exchange, the city will get property at the corner of Mountain Park Road, State Route 92, and a payment every month of at least $1,500. We will also get 25% of other rental income on that tower for any carriers over 2 that they are initially going on the tower. Sorry. And this will be a monopine tower sitting far back from Highway 92 instead of on the corner of 92 and King and Mountain Park Road.
Yeah, David, just for clarity, so just to go through the revenue structure again, so everybody has some clarity on it.
Okay, so the tower provider will pay the city every month $1,500. That amount will go up 3.5% every year. They will also give the city, for every new carrier they get on the tower, 25% of their rental income that they receive from the carrier. They also will give the city the property at the corner of Mountain Park Road and Highway 92. It's between basically our park property over there, between the dog park and park property on Mountain Park Road. They will demolish a house that is basically boarded up in Lita Thompson right now, and they will get rid of some of the diseased trees that are in the park leading to that house.
Do we have a numerical value on what we believe that to be?
I do not.
That's okay. But well, I'm sure council's fixing to get into this a little bit, so I'm going to let council add some thoughts, comments, or questions on the matter. Councilman Palermo, I'm sure you're weighing in on this, because this is a big deal. Councilman Palermo.
I'd say just love to see the improvement and the progress made on really pushing back and negotiating to add in different things, just bring more value to the taxpayers, and which I think Mr. Davidson certainly addressed it as an example. So certainly I feel this entire mayor and council was very focused on just making sure it was the best deal for residents.
Yeah, to that point, do you want to talk about how long this has been going on in terms of negotiations?
Since March of this year, 2020?
A lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe March 2022.
And actually it's tied to something that's even much longer than that, but we can't comment on, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So additional thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Councilmember Mortland?
One last question or comment for City Attorney Davidson. The height of this tower is going to be
170 feet.
Which is basically, on a percentage standpoint, maybe 90% shaded by the wood line back there.
So the only place you'll really be able to see it is from the new property that we just are acquiring across the street, the Christ Church property, the roof of the CVS building, and parts of the Target parking lot. And maybe you'll be able to see the very top from about half a mile away on Holcomb Bridge.
Good deal. Thank you.
Will, did you get your question answered? You know exactly where this cell tower is going?
Yes, sir. Good to go.
Okay. David, just for reiteration, do you want to tell everybody exactly where this cell tower is going? So people know?
So they are going to be tearing down the boarded-up house in Lita, and I think Jeff might actually have a visual, the boarded-up house in Lita Thompson Park, way back in the woods. They originally proposed at the corner of Mountain Park and 92, which...
Original proposal here.
That's their original proposed site right across the street from Chick-fil-A.
Everybody's familiar with that site, I'm sure.
Chick-fil-A.
And now they will be going deep into the park in the shaded area back there in the back.
So how would you address somebody's, I love Lita Park. I know Will Mortland, he runs there every day. And I do too, or walk. Love Lita. So am I going to be able to see this when I'm inside of Lita and I'm going up the trails?
Based on the proximity and where this is in the center of the park, I don't think you're going to notice it at all running in and around the trails. As Mr. Davidson described, you're going to be able to see it from a distance away, across the street, across Highway 92. But when you're actually physically in the park, you're not going to be able to see this pole. The area that you have highlighted right there is not a publicly accessible space within the park, which limits public access in and around that area quite substantially.
So to that question, Jeff, I won't be able to see the tower in the park. I'll be in the park, but I won't even know there's a tower there.
Won't even notice it.
And the three places I will be able to see the tower is I'll be able to see the top 10% of the tower from the top, if I get on top of the CVS pharmacy building, right? So if I'm up there and I'm Mike Palermo and I got nothing to do, I'm gonna go to the CVS building, I'm gonna get on top of it, and I'm gonna go look, see if I can see that cell tower, and I'll be able to see the top 10% of it from the top of the CVS pharmacy building.
Correct.
I may be able to see, and I want a little clarity on this, from the new property that the city has acquired at Bowen and 92, where can I potentially see, I might be able to see the top 10% of the tower from there, from any particular vantage point on that property?
Would be the backside of that property as it increases in elevation, where the church is located. That's a little bit higher point on that property, and again, you'd kind of be looking across the top of the CVS towards where that tower is in the park.
And the third place that I might be able to see the top 10% of the tower, by the way, how tall is this tower?
170 feet.
So I'll be able to see the top 17 feet, basically?
Roughly, yes.
Yeah, the top 17 feet of the tower. Which is the third place I can see it from?
You mentioned the Holcomb Bridge Road.
Yeah, well, further down,
It's in front of LA Fitness and Mellow Mushroom. That's the peak.
I'll be able to see it there from the LA Fitness if I'm in traffic?
yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Jeff. All right, so, comments, Michael Palermo's weighed in, anybody else? Will Worthland's weighed in, anybody else? Okay, take it to any Roswell residents who would like to weigh in on this matter. Yes, sir.
Point of clarification.
Just let everybody know, you're a stranger, nobody knows who you are, so
Alan
please.
Sells,
Yes,
Horseshoe
sir.
Bend. I believe it would be correct that Palermo could only see the top 8% from top of the CBS Tower.
But that's, you are gonna fit in well. If you take cheap shots of Mike Palermo, you fit in well. Any other thoughts or comments from any other Roswell residents on the matter? Thank you. All right, bring it back to council. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Jeff Leatherman, thank you for your work on this. David Davidson, thank you for your work on this. A lot of work. So I'm giving this to Lee. This goes to you, I think, doesn't it? Yeah. We're going to put it under transportation. How about that?
Sure.
I don't see it anywhere else. Yeah, we're going to put it on transportation.
All right.
You know what? You want to give it to Mike? Let's give it to Mike. Let's give it to Mike Palermo on his way out. Mike, this is yours. Would you like to make a motion on this item?
Councilmember Palermo, number 5.
Sure. Approval to grant an easement for a cell tower at Lita Thompson Park in exchange for property at the corner of Mountain Park Road and SR 92 and payment of at least $1,500.
Thank you, Councilmember Palermo. I have a motion by Councilmember Palermo. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Worthland. All in favor of passing this motion, please raise your hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. City Attorney Davidson, would you read the next item on your report, please, sir?
Thank you, Mayor. The next item I have is approval of a budget amendment in the amount of $3,750 and approval to enter into a lease at 1022 Green Street. This is the gravel lot behind the fire station. And it's basically an extension of our lease that we currently have.
Thank you, David. Council have any questions, comments on this matter? Councilmember Palermo.
Yeah, so ultimately, this is that lot. It's the old tow lot. It's right next to Fire Station 1, or I guess now Fire Station 21, because we've renumbered them. And Roswell residents or even just customers that are gonna go to our amazing downtown. They 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is free public parking there, and I think this is a really, if you look at the cost of other leases that we've seen or other offers we've seen in the area, I think this is a good deal for residents. And I was certainly proud when I was here when we first started this lease, and definitely support extending this lease to keep that a public parking lot.
Thank you, Councilman Palermo. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from Councilmember Beeson?
Just to reemphasize for folks too, that this is really still a temporary fix for the parking lot that's eventually going to be coming. It is very much in the works. We are in the real estate acquisition process, so it cannot be discussed publicly. But hopefully Q1 of next year, we could potentially see something. We'll see. Probably scaring a lot of people who are sitting on the dais, but I said that. But I just want to reemphasize to folks too, this is not in lieu of a parking deck. This is not the parking solution. It's to support a solution as we bring more permanent solutions on board.
Thank you, Sarah. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions on the matter at hand? Being there none? Yes, sir. Councilmember Johnson.
Just in case this is someone's first time coming to a meeting, how many parking spots are at this lot?
Daryl has that
Daryl, you got the
information.
number, yes.
Oh, sorry,
Economic Development Director Daryl Conley, welcome. Got your chance. We'll get you up here.
Mayor, City Council. 71.
You want to ask Daryl, he says this is the first time, you need to give him some questions, come on. That's it? All right. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions from council? Being there none, let me ask any Roswell residents if they'd like to ask any questions or weigh in on this matter. Being there none, I come back to council. Council, any other thoughts, final questions, comments? Very good. Mike, since this is the last item before we go to closure, I got to give it to you.
I will take this absolutely, because again, I think for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to be assisting with parking, knowing that voters have voted on building that parking deck, which, so definitely happy to move this forward as the temporary fix until there's a parking deck that voters have supported. But ultimately, certainly motion to approve budget amendment BA 100-15653-12-11-23 in the amount of $3,750 to enter into a lease agreement at 1022 Green Street.
Thank you, Councilmember Palermo. Seconded by Councilmember Hills. All in favor of passing this motion, please raise your hands. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. City Attorney Davidson.
The last item I have is a recommendation for closure to discuss personnel litigation and real estate.
Thank you very much, City Attorney Davidson. Do I have a motion for closure?
Motion for
Motion for closure by Councilmember Palermo. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Hall. All in favor of closure, please raise your hands. Motion for closure passes. We go to closure. Thank you very much. Being that there are no other items, this mayor and council meeting of December 11th, 2023 is adjourned. Thank you very much for being with us. All right, let's go do closure. How are you? Oh, Mike, you want to hit? No, he'll be here next.